Cool, right, we should be up and running now, so welcome guys, if you're going to be joining the broadcast. I think don't have anyone yet, so this will only be if you're watching the video in the future. Let's oh, we got our first viewer. Welcome to the stream. Dun, dun, dun. Let's cool. Alright then. Oh, so how many have we got here today then? We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Only 10. Half grid. It's not too bad. Could be worse.
Yeah.
Oh, you can hear me now. There we go. Oh no, that's them. That's the other stream. Cool. Ooh, we got a wet qualifying. There we go. So, 3 viewers now. Welcome to everyone who's joining us today. We've got TNF3, Italy. So round 8. We got 2 more rounds to come after this weekend. And we've got a heavy rain by the looks of it. And it looks pretty well set in from the camera I'm getting here. So. It looks like we're going to have a fully wet qualifying. Wonder whether this will keep up for the race. Could make for an interesting one, but I'm not sure how many people are going to have prepared for this. This is going to be interesting. And we've got the first car going out onto track. Well, in case you hadn't gathered anyway, by my voice, you got me back today. Your favourite commentator, I'm sure. And the best of the lot. Guy. So, oh, we got 2 going out, so let's have a look. Who's going to be the first? I believe it's going to be Ghost Recon, who is Nicholas, or Nick, I assume. Looks like he's going to be the first, closely followed out by Brett. So, I'm just going to make sure that I'm going to get the chat up, just in case we get some messages in the chat. Feel free to drop any questions in the chat. Just me here today, so oh, we'll look at that. And as I say that, we got a first one there. Let's have a look. Do you want me to join you, mate? I don't know who this is. Is that Brad? It might be Brad. Tedious Gamer. I'm guessing it's Brad. I don't know. I mean, if you're watching anyway, you're welcome to. Do not mind. Anyway, let's have a look. So who's front? Nick's in front, so we'll watch him there. Yeah, it is Brad. I knew it. I mean, you're welcome to join if you want. But anyway, we're gonna ride on board with the first lap. So full wet. That's gonna be interesting. Anyway. Probably not the worst track to do in wet conditions, really. You got a few heavy braking zones, which probably aren't too much fun. But yeah, heavy rain conditions. Probably there are worse tracks I can think of to have to drive in the wet. So let's see how well we spotted this one. Yeah, pretty neatly through there from Nicholas on the first time round here. We're going to ride on board through this lap, I think. See how we go through here. Yeah, so Obviously, as this session is going to go on, we're going to get that dry line up here through the well, over the racing line. So times should drop a bit as it goes on. People find a bit more grip, but actually, Nicholas maybe just taking it easy, just finding his way around at the moment, finding the grip, but actually looking like the car's pretty well stuck to the track at the moment. Not sliding around too much. Let's see how Brett's coping just behind him there. Yeah. So you can already see there in that shot, racing line starting to get a little bit clearer, but it's going to be a few laps yet until we see that actually start to show any decrease in lap time. But here we go. So this will be the first lap completed. I don't believe it would have been invalidated anywhere. So let's see what time we get. A 1:32.394. So that's the benchmark so far. Can Brett beat it? I'm not sure. 33.4. So okay, so we're looking around 32, 33 mark. But as I say, we're going to see those times come down as the session continues, as the track starts to dry up a little bit. Even though it's still raining, we should get a slightly clearer dry line through there. So let's have a go now. Let's have a look. I think Fabio looks like he's about to come across. Not sure exactly who's on an outlap and who. It looks like there's someone in front of him actually. Oh, and there we go. So Connor crosses line P2, 32.7. So everyone relatively close together at the moment. They're kind of within a second, around a second of each other. I'll say Fabio was on an outlap. Diego. No, he's a bit further. So anyone on a hot lap at the moment? That's the question. Let's put up some telemetry. And Matt, so in the other McLaren, so Brett's teammate, managed to set a 34.5, so a little bit slower there, but as I say, I think a lot of drivers probably, oh, yellow flag, wouldn't be surprised if we see a few of those through the session. Oh, I just saw Alpha go a little bit sideways in the background there, but yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we see a few drivers just take it easy to start with, get to grips with the wet conditions, and then pick the pace up as the session goes on. It's going to be interesting. I'm not sure exactly what the weather is, if anyone wants to, or the weather forecast is for the race, if anyone wants to actually update me, feel free. I'm quite interested to know. I suppose if it's a full wet race as well, the people might not want to use up another set of wet tyres. So, oh, and Diogo looks like, I'm guessing he's put it in the fence there. I'm guessing that wasn't deliberate. Oh, there he is. Yeah, on the outside of the last corner there. Probably, my guess would be just tried to put his foot down a little bit too early, or a little bit too hard, and car didn't like it and squirmed off. So easily done in the heavy wet conditions here. So interesting. So here we are. We're starting to get a few more times in now. So Fabio managed to go third with a 32.8. Daniel Budwell in with a 30. Oh, just dropped down to P6 with a 34.3. As who was it that improved there? Was it Matt? Yeah, Matt improved. So Matt Klunenberg with a 33.5 there. And Jaden, last one of who's set a time so far in 39.1. So we're just riding with Alex at the moment in the Toro Rosso. Yet to set a time, so we'll see what he can do here. So 32.3 benchmark at the moment. And Connor with a 32.7 just behind. So, well, oh, got another yellow flag. I said we might see a few. So Alex rounding the final corner. It always looks a little bit. Oh, and there we are. Connor goes to the top with a 31.3. And Alex goes P4, 33.3. Oh, and Matt's gone. So 33.5. Let's see if we can find out where that was. I'm not sure. Doesn't look like it was down that home straight there, so let's ride on board with Fabio here, and he's going to go around the rest of the track. We'll see if we can see where Matt lost it there. I think the yellow flag said it was in sector 2, so we'll see. So Fabio moved up to P2 there with a 31.9. So as I said, time's starting to drop already. You entered the 31s already, so I wouldn't be surprised if we see maybe a 29 ends up being pole, high 29, probably in the 30s at least, I'd imagine, for a pole time around here at the moment, judging by what these guys are doing currently. So I was going to see if Fabio is on a fast lap at the moment. He's just up on his personal best, so I would assume that he is. He's almost even with it, so we'll see. We've got a lot of cars out on track now, so that dry line should start appearing more, although the rain is still coming down pretty heavily, so probably won't see it actually develop too quickly. So let's have a look. So Jaden is improved to a 33.3 there, I believe. So he's into P5, and nice. So Fabio does come into the pits. So everyone just coming in now to waste their time. Let's ride on board with Brett Keenan here in the McLaren. P6 currently with a 33.4, but I think that was the first. He was the very first driver to set a lap, so that was the first lap out. So we'll see if he can improve on that here. Obviously, I believe he's the championship leader as well. I'm going to double check that still. Double check the championship standings actually. But well, let's see. Oh, I ran wide. I don't know if that's going to invalidate it or not. I don't think it will, because I think it cost him time. But he's still, yeah, he's improved. Oh, so it was a 32. So it didn't. Yeah, so it did invalidate the lap. That's a shame. That would have 32.6. That would have jumped him up to P5, I believe. He's gone straight on at turn 1. I think. Yeah, I can only believe that was deliberate. I think. Yeah, well, he's just straight lining the whole track and just wants to get back to the pits. Understandable, Brett. He's definitely watching the stream and doing this for a bit of a laugh, isn't he? Yeah, I'll take that as a yes. Oh, yellow flag in sector 1. Let's see. I'm not sure what that was all about. I think maybe someone just going slow. Looks like there's a few cars going through sector 1. Oh, let's ride on board with Nate here. So Don Benzito. P9 currently with a 36.4. This may well not be a flying lap though. I'm not entirely sure. It's hard to tell. Oh no, so I was lying. Brett is second in the championship at the moment. 23 points behind Fabio, so... Well, that's what it says on the app anyway, so... Update me if I'm wrong, guys, but... So, into the pits there, so let's see. Oh, so here we are, Brett's stuck out and set another one huge. There we go, so... Oh, it's invalidated again! Oh, that was like a much better time, though. Was that a much... It could have said 34, but I thought it said 24 up in the top corner there. So, so I just got an update from Matt. Since he has nothing to do, since he crashed out. It says it's wet all weekend. So we've got a wet race as well. It's going to make it a bit of a long one. But that's going to be fun. I wonder how many drivers we'll have left at the end of it. We'll see. So... Let's see who's on a flyer at the moment then. Let's ride on board with Brett and see where he invalidates this time. It's half a second up at the moment, so looked pretty steady through there. That looked pretty good. Back didn't kick out. Oh, and I don't know whether that was out of choice or... So Nicholas has gone there from P4. Could have been out of choice, I'm not entirely sure. I'm going to stay on board with Brett until he finishes this lap. So it was looking like a good time at the moment. Yeah, it must have been 34 before, it wasn't 24. My eyes were kidding me. 30, 31... 32.4, so... does pop up into P5 there. Only 300ths of a second off of P4 there. So that's pretty close, but Connor still leading the way with a 31.3 and 6/10 clear of Fabio in P2. So Connor looking pretty good up there in pole position at the moment. And that track isn't really drying up as much as I thought it might on the racing line. It still looks pretty wet because of all that rain that's coming down. It just isn't easing up at all. So yeah. There's a little bit of a racing line there, you can see, but not as much as I thought there might have been. So just under 4 minutes left in the session. I think all the drivers are gonna have an opportunity to get in at least one more lap, probably 2 more laps if they want. Apart from anyone who's on a flyer at the moment, probably only time for 1 more for them. But Fabio's going to come across the line, and says a 31.8, so improves a bit, but still half a second off Connor's pole time. So let's see who else is on a flyer at the moment. So Britt's on an in lap by the looks of it. Let's ride on board with Jaden. There's a yellow flag there. Not sure what that was for. Maybe just someone going slowly. But let's see what Jaden can do around the last bend now. Oh, and going into the pits. A bit of contact before the pit lane, and he's actually sent Brett into the wall. He's retired from the session. And a 5-place good penalty, and I can only say I think that's probably fair. From the looks of it there. I thought for all it looked like he just aborted the lap at the last second and just anyway, there was no chance of him stopping in time before Brett was already entering the pit lane and sent him flying into the wall. So I can only think being awarded a good penalty there. I can only assume that's fair, really. From that, he said, he's apologised in the chat. Fair enough, probably an honest mistake, but a bit silly. So, let's have a look. We're going to see Alex start a flying lap here. Anyone else on a flying lap? Nate could be. I'm not sure. No, I don't think he is on a flyer by the looks of it. Oh, and there we are. So we just missed that. Just got to him in time. Fabio crosses the line with a 31.2. So maybe the track's improving. Maybe Fabio's just got to grips with it here. But Connor has just started a flying lap himself. So 31.3. So he's got to find about a 10th from somewhere to snatch that back. So we've got most drivers out on a flyer at the moment. Everyone try. Oh, and we just got on board with Nate there, who's just run it wide and got on the grass, and he's avoided the inside wall, but then got sent back into the outside wall there. So he's lost some front wing and a yellow flag, and these tyres are going to be on fire now, I reckon, from that spin. He managed to get going again. No one hasn't got in anyone's way as of yet, which is good. But we'll see if anyone's going to catch him. So here we go. So Alex is going to be the next one to cross the line, I think, and he's going to have time to do another lap if he's fueled for it, which I'd imagine he will be. He's going to have time to put in one last lap. So how's this one going to be? Judging by that time I can see in the top right, I'm not sure it's going to be a pole, but it does improve to a 32.0 though. So still sitting in P3. 8/10 off pole, and he's got one more lap to do it now, so perhaps he's got his eye in, and and there we go. So I think Fabio's just improved again by another 2/10 there, to go down to 30.9. What can Connor do? Nothing now. I don't think. Maybe it's a validated time, I'm not sure. So 31.3 still, but he starts, so he's got time for another lap as well. So all the top 3 out for one more lap. Jaden, is he going to get to the line in time? That's the question. I don't think he is. 4 seconds? No. So I think, well, to be honest, there's not much point for Jaden because he does have the 5-place grid penalty anyway. So yeah, session over of him. So it's just the top three who are all on flying laps. So Fabio, I think, is the... Oh no, Alex is the first of them. So we'll ride on board with Alex first, and then we'll switch over as they come round to the line. So Alex, bit of an outsider here to get the pole. He's sitting well, just around a second off the pole time at the moment from so far. But well, all three of them have just done a flyer, so they've got their eye in now. So they'll know where they can gain some time. Let's see. Again, judging by that time, no, he's going to abort it. I was going to say, judging by that time in the top right, it wasn't going to be a pole time. And Fabio, no, Fabio's aborted as well, so perhaps not fueled up for it. Was Connor fueled up for it? He was, he's going for it, so this is it. Will this be pole? It is, he snatched it with a 30.6. So Connor snatches it, huge lap time at the end there, so improves by almost 7/10 towards the end to snatch pole from Fabio right at the end. So Connor takes P1 with Fabio P2, Alex in P3, and actually, although Nicholas and Brett both retired at various points in that session, very close to each other, they've got P4 and 5, but I'm sure might be a little bit upset with that, because with the track perhaps getting a little bit faster, perhaps would have felt he could have got another position or two out of that. And Jaden starting well, he won't start P6, he's qualified P6, but it will start from the back of the grid after the grid penalties for the collision with Brett in the pit lane. So there we go, and that's what it looks like. Matt P7, who also crashed out, so interesting that it says he updated us saying it's going to be wet for the whole weekend. Judging by the amount of people that crashed just in a qualifying session there, I'll be impressed if we get more than half the field finish this one. But we'll see. Daniel Budwell P8, and Haas teammate just behind him in Nate, and then Diego didn't manage to set a time, lost it on the exit of the final corner on his first lap. So here we go, waiting for the race. If it is going to be full wet, I imagine that's going to rule out any interesting strategies. It is raining. Yeah, so I saw that we were... you sometimes get a few interesting strategies around Italy, people trying to stretch out some supers and some softs, but we're not going to see anything anything like that. I think it'll be a simple one stop if it's if the rain continues as expected. It'll just be straight wet to wet. Cool. So off on the formation lap we go. Let's just have a rundown of these guys, where they sit in the championship at the moment. So Fabio leading by 23 points back to Brett Keenan at the moment. So Fabio got a good chance to extend his lead here at the moment. Jaden sitting P3, just 5 points back from Brett. So that collision could have cost Jaden quite dearly there, having to start from that much further back. But obviously long race, so plenty of chance for him to work his way back through the field. You've got Ken, who isn't with us today, sitting P4. So the next driver we've got, who is currently actually racing, is Daniel Budwell in P. He's 6th in the championship at the moment, on 45 points. So he is, well, 65 points off the leader. So at this stage in the season, probably not a championship contender still. As well, the only real championship contenders I think you'd say are looking like Fabio, Brett and Jaden. Are the only three who are really looking to compete. Ken possibly, but as I say, with only 2 weekends left after this in the season, I think that's probably asking a little bit much there. But Brett will be very keen to work his way up and, if nothing else, damage limitation. But I'm sure he may well fancy his pace round here. We didn't get to see his final flying lap, obviously because of the incident in qualifying, so we don't know just how close in pace he will be to Fabio. But Fabio's certainly been impressive all season, so it's going to be interesting to see. Connor obviously sitting on pole, he's down in P8 in the championship, so it's a good chance for him to jump up, finish as high as he can. And then also, well, Alex sitting in P3 on the grid here, it's a good chance for him to score his first points. He hasn't actually got a point yet on the board. But as I say, wet conditions, this could be interesting, especially down into Turn 1. We know Turn 1 Italy is probably one of the nastiest at the best of times, but in the wet, people are really going to have to be careful with their braking points. Hope we don't see too many out at first, because we want an interesting race and we need cars for that. So let's hope we don't see too many incidents today, but I wouldn't be surprised with these conditions. Let's try and get a good view of the grid. There we go, that's a better view. So 5 red lights, and they're going to be held, and off we go. Oh, there's a bit of a poor start there from Matt, I think that was, and Jaden got a good start and he's had to go round them at the back there. Connor got away very cleanly from first though, and he's going to cover off the inside, I believe, and Fabio is just going to filter through in second. So here we go, let's have a look what happens back down the grid there. Everyone been relatively clean. We've seen, I think that's Fabio who's had to take the escape road there by the looks of it and just go over the bumps to make it around the corner. Got a 3-second time penalty for doing so, and Brett's had a good start up into P4 right behind his championship contender Fabio already. So good start from Brett. His teammate didn't get quite such a good start, but Matt down in P7 now, but only lost a place. But as I say that, he's ran wide. He's on the gravel and he's going to have to go drop right down to the back of the field. But long race to go. Certainly nothing much lost yet. So Fabio's ran it wide and Brett's going to go past him here. We're going to go 3 wide. Collision between the Mercedes of Nicholas, and he's into the fence and he's out, and Fabio is still in, but not sure what happened there. I think Fabio ran it wide and perhaps just got on the curb, and car got sent flying across the track and collected the Mercedes of Nicholas into the fence, and that's the end of Nicholas's race. And Fabio, I'd imagine he's got some damage from that, probably on the front wing. Can't see at the moment. Doesn't look like he's too badly damaged actually from that angle. I thought they were going to go 3 wide, and Brett got lucky because Brett was on the inside of all of that and just managed to get ahead of them before they got sent into the fence there. But Brett has been unleashed in P3, and this is now all of a sudden a great chance for Brett to gain some points up onto the leaders there. And we got Daniel Budwell up into P4 already. He's had a great start, battling along with Jaden there, who's also had a good start from the back of the grid up into P5 already. So a bit of mayhem really on these first few laps. And Connor has had his dream start really. He's got away. He's just a second ahead of Alex. So Alex, as I say, looking for his first points. He's had a solid start as well. He's gained obviously that place that Fabio's lost. And Brett up onto the podium as well. So Daniel Budwell still battling away a bit with Jaden. Jaden's dropped back a little bit here, but and I think Diogo must have messed up his braking point there a bit. Looked like he was right. He was close to the back of Nate before that. And we got Matt running it a little bit wide again there. Perhaps just struggling in these wet conditions a little bit. But actually, even though Matt had a bit of a stinker of the first lap, not too far off. The field isn't too spread out so far, so he hasn't lost out on too much time. And definitely still time for him to make up a few places through the field. As we've seen, from these guys up the front, Brett and Jaden especially, and Daniel Budwell have just gained several places on that first lap due to the mayhem. But now it's going to be a real test of Fabio's pace. What's his pace like over the long run here, and how much damage does he have? Is he going to be able to gain in on these guys and pick up some meaningful points, or not? So Nate into the pits. Nate's obviously got a bit of damage, I'd imagine there then. So perhaps change your front wing. One thing I would say is if it does... that's just overtake for Nate being in the pits. So But if we do see some good points for Brett here today, it could make the championship really interesting heading into these last 2 rounds. Because doing some quick maths, if it finished like this, how many points behind did I say he was? 23, was it? Yeah, 23 points down. He gained 15, so he'd only be... Oh no, not 15. Oh, getting about 9, so... Be only about 16 points down heading into... With 2 rounds to go. That'd make for a very interesting last 2 rounds. Obviously, long way to go yet in this race. I'm not going to get too carried away, because we've seen Fabio gaining large deficits in the past, especially at Brazil. I remember he had the drive-through penalty and still came back to... I believe he won the race or came second. Can't remember, but yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. But Connor sitting out front now, up over 2 seconds in the lead, and he'll just be wanting to hold this together. And Alex trying to stick with him. I'd imagine he'll be pretty happy with that start, just sitting in there. Bide your time, maybe just wait for the conditions if they're gonna ease up at all. I'm not sure if that rain is gonna ease up at all. Brett getting a little bit sideways through that turn 1 in the chicane there, and Daniel Budwell is gaining on him here. He's only 1.2. Oh, he's actually, I think Daniel's had a bit of a poor exit out of the chicane there, so back up over 2 seconds. So obviously no DRS in the wet conditions, and that's it's going to make overtaking a little bit more difficult, obviously, around here. Main place, obviously, down the home straight, long straight. You will still be able to do it, I'd imagine, but it's going to be quite a bit harder, as you'd expect in the wet conditions. So Matt looks like he's closing up to the back of Diogo here for P6, and all the time Fabio, I think, gradually looks like he's gaining in to the back of these guys as well. But let's ride on board with Matt as he approaches the back of Diego's Alfa Romeo here, and let's see what it's like as we come down to the as we near the home straight. As I say, that's probably going to be the main overtaking place, although it looks like Matt's got much better drive. Ooh. So you can still get a bit of a slipstream in the wet, obviously. But so much of it is just going to be on your exit out with this last corner. How early can you get on the throttle? And as you see there, Matt's car just wanting to send him onto the inside wall there. So Diego with a bit of a better exit there, and has built up a bit of a gap there. So we'll hop off board with Matt. I'm sure he's probably not wanting us to jinx him or anything. So Jaden looking close to the back of Daniel Budwell here, so they're separated by just over half a second. And let's see if he can shape up a move. Ooh, getting very deep into the corner, and that's, yeah, really compromised his exit on the second part there. Apologies, I feel like I should know these corner names and I'd recognise them, but I don't want to try it just because I know I'll get them wrong. I know we got the Lesmos here, everyone knows them, but I feel like I'd get the corner names wrong and then people would probably shout at me for it, so I'm not going for them. So again, Matt looks like he's closed up again through the middle sector. So Matt seems to have the edge in the middle sector, but just needs to try and prioritise that exit down to the home straight, and then he might be able to shape a move up into turn 1. Although, as I say, obviously it's so hard being late on the brakes in these wet conditions. Oh, and there we go. That might be his chance. Diogo got very sideways on the exit of the corner, and that's going to give Matt a sniff here. He's only half a second back. Now, how close can he follow? Can he get the good exit here? He looks close enough. Obviously, in the dry, this would be I reckon this would probably be a slam dunk with DRS as well. But obviously, he doesn't have that, and just looks a little bit too far back to shape anything up there. So, got to really bide your time. Although Diego has gone way too deep, and yeah, there we go. Had to go across the bollards, or not the bollards, the whatever they are that they've put in there. to slow people down, stop them cutting the corner, and that has cost him. So his teammate as well, Fabio, has overtaken him and moved into P7 there. Oh, Matt's just been unleashed and perhaps just getting a little bit ahead of himself as he got unleashed and put some wheels on the gravel, and now Fabio right up behind Matt. So Matt could probably do his teammate Brett a big favour here and keep Fabio behind him for as long as he can, because the more time he costs Fabio, the less chance there is of Fabio gaining any more places. And obviously minimise his points haul. Because Brett will be wanting, as I say, to maximise that, or minimise the gap going into the last few rounds. So Matt 11 seconds down on Jaden. So there's a little bit of a gap forming. So Connor pulling 6 seconds away at the lead now, and then no one too far apart. Brett 5 seconds back from him. But there's a gap, yeah, between 5th and 6th there, about 11 seconds, and Fabio's got a much better exit. Matt just got a little bit wide and a little bit hairy, and Fabio was going to breeze past with that better exit there. So Matt not able to hold him up too much, but we'll see if he's able to come back at him over the next few laps, maybe. So let's have a look at the constructors' standings, shall we? So Sauber currently leading the way with 143 points, and McLaren in second on 117, so 26 points back. And then Force India on 104, 39 points back from the leaders. So there's still a lot up for grabs in the constructors as well, particularly McLaren and Sauber, and the two Saubers down 6th and 8th at the moment. So Brett obviously and Matt splitting the Saubers at the moment. So Brett's just picked up another penalty, so he's got to be careful there because he's only 1.4 seconds ahead of Daniel. So Daniel's got a chance of nicking something there, but so Matt sticking with Fabio throughout this lap, so we'll see if he's able to have any kind of comeback into the down the home straight now, although it looks a bit too far back there, almost a second back. So as I say, the strategies probably aren't going to be too crazy. Probably through to lap 13 and then pit is the recommended. Might see some people go for the undercut, and pit on lap 12 perhaps. Oh, and Fabio's got a little bit of a wobble on there, and that's going to allow Matt a sniff. So Matt's going to have much better drive all the way around here, and is he going to stick out the inside? He is. Oh no, he's backed out of it, and it's, yeah, tricky in the wet there. Fabio just managed to save it there with a bit of with some raw power there, but a lot of VRS left there on both these cars, and Matt's going to go around the outside, so Fabio again getting a bit hairy. So is Fabio struggling on those tyres, I wonder? Matt's going clean around the outside. That's a really nice move from Matt, actually. Really nice move in the wet conditions especially. That's a nice move in the dry, but in the wet, yeah, that's oh, that's going to be up there, but Fabio coming back at him down the inside here. What's he like under braking? Yeah, pretty assured. I wonder if he got a corner cut for that or not. I'm not sure. Just looked like perhaps his wheels just went over the inside of the curb on the inside there, but no penalty for it, but could have been a warning. So let's have a look. How many laps has everyone done on their tyres? So yeah, 8-7. Yeah, so everyone won similar laps really. No one's on particularly old tyres from the start. So Daniel Budwell just picked up a 3-second time penalty there as well, so that cancels out the one Brett got earlier. Matt's just dropped back a little bit there off the back of Fabio here. 1.7 seconds. So Connor just having a quiet race up front at the moment. Almost up to 8 seconds now. Looks like he's probably enjoying himself a bit out there, but well, it never really is the case. Even when you're leading by 8 odd seconds, you're you're still feeling like you're always on edge. So looking nice and assured through there. And Alex probably the same. So these top three all pretty spaced out from each other. Oof. Just watching Brett through there, got a little bit hairy, getting a bit of a slide on there. So Brett looking a little bit more slidey through that final sector than the other two. But well, Daniel Budwell's been stuck about 1.8 seconds back from Brett for most of this race. Really, it feels like he did close up at one point, but struggling to make much of a meaningful dent in that time. Jaden also sitting P5 in the middle of nowhere, it seems. 6 seconds behind in front, but 8 seconds behind. But Fabio does appear to be gaining actually on Jaden here, I'd say. Well, as I say that, he's dropped back over 8 seconds. But still a long way to go. Not even halfway through the race yet. So there's still well, it can be a lot left to happen. And we've got a bit of a weird camera angle going on here. Ooh, Fabio getting a bit sideways again there. So I think Fabio looking a little bit hairy on some of these tyres, not looking too comfortable on these wet tyres. They've done the same amount of laps as everyone else, but just having a few moments here and there, but that's probably just coming from pushing, probably a bit frustrated at that start, and that's dropped him down the order. So just maybe pushing a little bit too hard at times. But yeah, it's around that 8 seconds actually, not gaining too much, but Daniel Budwell has managed to gain... I don't need to say your surname, do I? There's only one Daniel Racing at the moment. Oh, and there we go, so Brett dives into the pits early, so lap 11, so I'd say that's... Oh, we've got another car in as well, so is that Alex in the pits as well? We'll need to switch him on to Inters. So interesting, I didn't see that coming actually. So perhaps that the rain perhaps has eased up a bit, and that because the racing line has dried so much, obviously Jeff, I'm guessing, has been onto these guys and told them Inters are the tyre to be on. So let's see how the pace goes here, because this could be a significant undercut if Inters are the right tyres here for both Alex and Brett. So I'd imagine we're going to see everyone else who didn't pit this lap come in the next lap. But that rain looks, yeah, the rain does look much lighter. It looks like some light rain now, and with that drier racing line, Inters look like they're the right call at the moment. But we'll see what times these guys do. So Alex, Brett, Jaden, and Matt and Diogo all came in that lap. So Matt managed to get in the same lap as his teammate. It's a McLaren crew, obviously. Wonder whether the teammate, I don't know whether they're in a party chat or not talking to each other, but they managed to double stack. Oh, and Daniel Budwell's gone. So perhaps pushing hard on an in lap there. He's crashed. Where's he crashed? There he is. Oh, on the outside. Off the bend. It's so easily done in the wet conditions, especially there. Yeah, so easy to get up on the curb. Wet conditions. You can aquaplane and just lose control of the car like that. So Daniel Budwell has gone, and he's putting pressure on Brett for a large part of this race. So Fabio now coming into the pits. Connor's come in and got out, and he's clear. But how big has the undercut been for Alex? That's the question. Well, actually, because it. So Alex, 9.5 seconds back now, so I'm not sure there's been a significant undercut there at all, really. If anything, actually Jaden a lot closer to Brett, so I don't know if something happened to Brett on that lap. Jaden is much closer to Brett, so either those, it's too early for the Inters, and these guys on the Inters perhaps just not up to temperature. But I think the guys on the Inters have actually lost some time. Whether they've just been, something might have happened on that lap, and that's why maybe they're just not used to the tyres. But Brett now only 2 seconds ahead of Jaden, so Jaden got an overcut on him there, and Fabio in P5, and Fabio has... Oh no, so of course Daniel, so I thought Fabio had jumped someone there, but of course Daniel's crash jumps everyone up another place. So we're nearing the halfway point. I would have really liked a safety car there, actually, for Daniel's crash. I'm not sure everyone else would have, especially those that had already come into the pits. But would have just closed up the field and give us a bit of some entertaining racing and entertaining finish. Or Fabio got sideways there. Alex sets the fastest lap of the race, so starting to push on those fresh tyres. And Jaden is right up the back of Brett now. And he's, whoa, look at this. He's got a huge pace advantage down the straight line. And he's going to breeze past. What is... So Brett out of ERS. That looks like that's what it is there. Judging by that, just no ERS to defend with. And Jaden breezes past into P3 even. So all of a sudden, the two championship contenders, it looked like Brett was going to be taking a good chunk of points out of him. All of a sudden, they're only 10 seconds apart in 4th and 5th. So Jaden into the podium paces, and I'm sure Brett might feel a little bit aggrieved at that, judging by what happened in qualifying. But Jaden did get a punishment. He got the 5th place grid drop. So I feel like that's yeah, Jaden's had to work his way through the field and is up into P3. So that's going well for him there. Connor still out in front. He looks like he's been relatively unfazed by that round of pit stops. So now it's just going to be a case of bringing it home for him, trying to keep that gap back to Alex, which currently sits at about 9.6 seconds. About the same gap then back to Jaden, who's got Brett for company. So Connor sets a new fastest lap of the race, so replying to that fastest lap from Alex on the last lap. So these guys are just starting to get accustomed to their new tyres. And the rain, yeah, the rain definitely looks lighter. And actually, look at that. So the sky there, as we jump on board, sky looks brighter over there. You can just see on the top left corner. Sky looks a lot brighter. So I don't know if it'll actually clear up in time to stop raining during the race, or whether it will actually... oh, got a yellow flag in Sector 1 and Sector 2, and that's Dom Benzito, so Nate obviously had an off there. Oh, another yellow flag in Sector 2. Anyone? No, it's just Nate again. So, yeah, whether we're actually going to see anything significant in terms of the track starting to dry if the rain stops, I'm not sure, because as I say, we're over halfway now. It doesn't look that bright, but there are signs of it starting to get brighter, so it'd be interesting to see. It'd be nice if it did have another pit stop. It would give us another element of intrigue, at least, as we see Nate being lapped. Oh, and Jaden picks up another penalty there as well. So Brett had just picked one up and Jaden gets one as well. So these guys, I'll check their penalties later on. But they're probably not too far off each other at the moment in terms of penalties. But Jaden's showing some good pace at the moment. He managed to pull out almost a 3-second gap back to Brett here. And so that's the new fastest lap of the race, as I said. So I said he was showing good pace. And yeah, so Brett having to harvest some ERS up now, I think. Because as I said, when he before had to defend against Jaden, he didn't have any ERS to fight with. So it looks like he's saving up a little bit now. But only 7.5 seconds now back to Fabio. So if Fabio keeps going at this rate, he will be able to catch Brett before the end of the Grand Prix. And then it'll be a question of whether he can get past. Obviously, those points could be huge, because it currently sits at 23 points, the gap. But obviously, if Fabio was to finish in front of Brett, that takes it over the 25 point mark, that gap in the championship. So that's obviously one race where Brett would win and Fabio would DNF, so that would give him a whole race buffer as such, with only 2 races left. That means we could see it sealed next weekend. So this could be a huge battle in terms of the championship here. Fabio 6 seconds back now, so he's really flying on these inters now. So yeah, this could be a crucial point in terms of the championship. But it looks like everyone really, apart from those two who look like they're closing in on each other, having a bit of a quiet race really. Apart from that, everyone kind of spaced out by over 5 seconds at least, over 6 seconds really as well. So everyone just focusing on their own race from here. Probably some racers probably just hoping for maybe a safety car or a drastic change in conditions, because that's the only way that they're going to be able to do anything major in what's left of this race. So Fabio now 3.6 seconds, 3.5. So he is really flying now. He's just found another gear, it seems, on these edges. Maybe seems a lot more comfortable, not sliding around quite as much. This extra grip seems to have helped him massively here. In sector 1, sector 2, there's a yellow flag. I'm not sure who that was for. And Jaden actually gaining on Alex here, 4.7 seconds, so he's gaining gradually. Not too quickly, but Alex, I think, actually perhaps struggling more, so the opposite of Fabio, perhaps struggling more on these inters. So this changeover, perhaps he's just trying to find his rhythm again, find his comfort zone with these new tyres and new levels of grip. Same with Brett really, but Fabio absolutely flying on these inters. Just this extra bit of grip that seems to have happened from the track drying up a little bit, and the inters just really playing into his hands. He's under 2 seconds now, up to Brett. So Brett gonna have a bit of a defensive masterclass to put on if he wants to hold on to that P4 and extend or reduce the gap in the championship to Fabio. Oh, and actually, thinking about it, I think on penalties, I'm not sure Fabio has that much penalty coming at the moment, unless anything is deemed by the stewards from that incident that happened on the first lap with Nicholas. That's the only one I think. I think Fabio got a 3 second, didn't he, in the start? Oh no. That's right, but yeah, I think I believe that Fabio got 3 seconds. He did get a 3 second on that first lap. Also, Daniel actually had a stop go as well. I didn't realise that. So yeah, there's I think Brett has 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, and Fabio has 3 and a warning. So yeah, so I think probably doesn't matter how much defence Brett puts in here. He's he's got about over 10 seconds more penalties than Fabio at the moment. So Jaden actually as well. So Fabio closing into Brett. That's going to be a battle that's developing. Jaden is after that P2. He's closing into the back of Alex here. So under 3 seconds. That's going to be an interesting one. And here we go. Fabio breezes past Brett. So Brett probably not going to put up too much of a fight really there, because as I say, he probably knows he's got those penalties. At the end of the day, that isn't going to make a huge difference putting up that actual fight there. So Matt coming into the pits again, maybe going to go for a fastest lap. That would be my guess. Either that or he's picked up a bit of damage somewhere. So he's going to come in and see if he can hunt down Diogo for that 6th place. I think that would be about all you can get there, unless you get a safety car or something there for the rest of this. So Jaden actually dropped back a little bit there. He's back up to 4 seconds. So it doesn't look like it's quite going to fall into place for him there. But still, long way to go. 8 laps. Well, not a long way to go, but long enough for some stuff to change at least. Oh, and Jaden coming into the pits. So are these inters wearing up then? I wonder. So I thought these inters would go to the end quite easily, but maybe Jaden's suffering on them. Maybe Jaden got some damage. Oh, and Diogo's gone. So, oh yeah, there we go. The classic. I think that's the place that's going to cause most of the problems this weekend, really, for most categories. Right on the exit there, easily done. So we've got another victim. But are these inters burning up? Perhaps the track is actually so dry on this racing line that it's just burning up these inters. I thought they would go to the end easily, and that's why I thought Matt came in, but just to go for fastest lap. But perhaps actually they're wearing pretty badly. But maybe Jaden had some. I didn't see him change his front wing though. But otherwise, I think it'd be a curious decision to come in. So perhaps by pitting now, he feels that he's going to be able to kind of get a bit of an undercut on these guys if who are going to try and stick it out, but are going to end up having to come in anyway. Maybe it's a gamble worth taking for him, but we'll see. 15 seconds back on Brett now. After that. But he's gaining quite rapidly. They gained about half a second just through that one sector alone. So they are going to be faster, these fresh inters, but I'd imagine these guys aren't going to want to do it up the top here unless they feel they absolutely have to. Because if they do and someone else manages to stick it out, then obviously going to lose a lot of time. Connor almost up at the 15-second gap there, so he's almost in a situation that he could have a pit stop gap. I mean, that's actually going to be quite a bit more, but he needs in the space of 6 laps left. But yeah, it's possible. So down to only 7 drivers, and none of them particularly close to each other. Closest we got, Brett is 4.5 seconds back on Fabio, but I think Fabio's pulling away gradually. And here we go, Connor coming in. So with a 15-second gap, even when he comes out, he might be able to gain in that time anyway. But I think people are all going to have to stop again. I think their tyres are probably burning up. So Alex is going to stay out, and I wonder if he's going to risk it and try and stay out for the whole race and try and snatch a win here. What's Fabio going to do? Fabio's going to stay out as well. So where's Connor going to come out? Is Connor going to come out in front of Fabio? It's going to be close. It's going to be close. Fabio gaining all the time because Connor has to get up to speed, but he won't get there. So he's going to tuck in just behind Connor. Oh, Connor had those cold tyres there, getting very sideways. Did well to save it there. So only half a second separate these two. So I wonder, is Alex going to have to come in these last 5 laps? Or is he going to try and... Oh, and Fabio, massive lock up there. And I think that's a sign that those tyres are worn. I think those tyres are probably spent. So I think it was probably a good move from Connor to come in that early. And cover off those guys behind, because I think they're probably going to have to stop again. Unless Alex has been kind on his tyres. It's hard to see really in these conditions as to how worn the tyres are. They look a little bit grained maybe on the inside. You can kind of tell a little bit, just a bit darker, but yeah, it's hard to tell very much. Looked like he's pushing quite hard there. He had it in overtake, I saw, in the ERS, so I'm wondering, is he going to come in? Was he pushing hard for an in lap there? We'll see. Does he come in? He's going to brave it out, so he's going to stick it. So, question is, so I'd assume now with, well, 4 or 5 laps left. Oh, Connor got a bit sideways there. I would assume with this amount of laps left, these guys aren't going to bother pitting again. And Alex is going to try and stick it out there and hold. So Connor needs to gain almost 2 seconds a lap. Just under 8 seconds down, 5 laps. So, yeah, between a second and 2 seconds a lap. He needs to reel in Alex, and well, mind you, look at that just through there, he's gained about half a second. So it's going to be interesting because they'll have to catch him and pass him, but Alex is going to be really low on grip, judging by how these tyres seem to be holding up. Yeah, look at that, he's reeling him in. He's gained that under 7 seconds already. Yeah, I think probably a good move from Connor. Play it safe, not get that puncture. It looks like he's got the pace to reel him in anyway. But maybe Alex just playing it, you know, playing it safe, saving his ERS maybe. Obviously down the straight they won't gain as much time because well, you obviously don't need the extra grip that the tyres are giving you necessarily down a straight. It's in the braking zones that you're gonna you feel it more than anything around these corners. So it's going to make for an interesting finish to the race anyway. I think probably if Alex was going to come in, he probably should have done it earlier, so I think he's going to stick it out now. Obviously going to have to hope he's not getting a puncture. And Diogo messaged the group. That guy is always on the wall. This weekend, I guess so. Tricky conditions though this weekend, so I think it's understandable that people end up in the wall. You're not the only one there. So 5.8 seconds now as we come on to this next lap. So Connor on a mission. Fabio not falling back too much from Connor. It looked like Fabio's tyres were really spent when he locked up when we saw him do that, but looks like he's stuck with it now. So interesting choice from Connor to risk that extra pit stop. He's kind of dominated this whole weekend, really, having after that pole time, snatched pole away from Fabio, and he's dominated this race. He's been miles clear, so some would say he probably deserves the win. But if Alex can make those tyres work, then that is a skill all in itself, being able to work those worn tyres. So it's going to be a scrap for the win here. 4 seconds still the gap. So I think it seems to me that Connor's gaining more time through that first sector. As I said, so these last sectors, more straights, probably not as much time to gain with the fresh tyres. Definitely looks like he's gaining more time through those through that first sector, and then just a little bit through the second two, or definitely through the third one anyway. So Diego rooting for Fabio, obviously his teammate. Wanting to do that, although it looks like he might have to settle for P3 at the moment based on this pace that Connor and Alex are showing. 3.5 seconds as we cross with 3 laps to go. It's going to be interesting. Going to be interesting because Connor has to catch him and pass him, of course. So if Alex is able to perhaps have a bit of spare ERS, position the car well, he might be able to defend, but obviously it's so hard to defend on tyres that are that much more worn, because Sector 1, Sector 2, who's that in the fence there? Oh, it's Nate, just getting out of the way for everyone to lap him, I think. Oh, Connor getting a bit sideways there. Look at that, almost drifting around the corner. 2.7 seconds now. So, yeah, as I was saying, it is so hard to defend on tyres that are that worn because, obviously, getting the exit down onto the straight, if you just the grip isn't there, the car just won't accelerate from underneath you. So 2.5 seconds. So he's gained a second this lap already. Still got another sector to go, so probably we'll have it down at about 2 seconds as he crossed the line with two laps to go. So it's going to be interesting. He's going to have to make that move probably on the final lap by the looks of it. He's not going to be close enough this time round. So it will probably have to be next time round, because the only real place you can overtake is down this home straight, or perhaps the one just leading up to it. So as I said, 2.1 seconds. Alex, yeah, so until you get around to this corner again, so if we're going by how much time he took out of that, he's probably going to be around half a second down coming onto that straight next time round, and that's going to be probably his best chance. Although if he can follow closely through the rest of the lap, he's going to be able to do something else. And I've actually missed that Brett has had a moment in this excitement. Brett obviously had a spin or something. That might have been some yellow flags or something that we saw. And Jaden has capitalised. And am I just making that up? Jaden just get past him. I can't remember. I seem to remember seeing. Oh yeah, Jaden had the extra pit stop. That's why. Okay, no. So Jaden just had the fresh tyres. I think that's it. So Connor, here we are, 1.1 seconds. This is making for a really exciting finish to the race here, actually. It's been a bit of a, was the middle phase, they're all very spaced out. Oh, yellow flags in sector 2. Oh, Jaden and Brett have had contact. 5 second stop go for Jaden for severe collision with Brett. Now, I just caught the end of that. I have no idea what happened there. I'm sure we'll see some footage from their onboards at some point, but no idea what happened there. But let's just rejoin this battle for the lead, because Connor seems to have kind of stagnated here at the 1 second mark. So we're going to start the last lap, and Connor has 1 second to gain and to get past Alex for the win. So here we go, on to the last lap we go. Let's ride on board with Connor for it. What can Connor do? Thank you, Diogo. Actually, that's a really good point. I hadn't thought of that. He said that none of them have time penalties, and Connor's going to go for it here. Looking around the outside, he's going to switch back to the inside. Alex going to cover him off. Oh, and Connor had to ease off there. He had to hit the brakes almost. He got so far into the back of him. And Alex positioning that car on the apex so that he can't get past it. And Connor gives him a tap up the back. There was a little bit of a gap on the inside there. Didn't want to take it. Perhaps just waiting for the straight. I think he's probably just playing this smart and just sticking close, and knows that once you get onto the straight, if he can get the exit, he'll have it done right at the end, because you don't want to risk it and go for it too early and then give him the slipstream as such. And here we go. Is he going to go for it? He is. He's going to go up the inside. Alex, who's going to be later on the brakes? Alex runs it a bit wide here, and yeah, there we go. So I don't think there was anything in that. I think Alex just tried to outbrake him. Obviously had to go late on the brakes and ran it wide, and Connor is through. So Connor, if he holds it together through this last corner, it looks as if he will take the win. And Alex looking up the inside, he really wants to get that, and it's been a great drive from Alex, I've got to say. Put in a really strong performance to get that close to taking that win away from Connor. And Fabio's going to come through, and he's really close up to them. Look at that. So Fabio will take P3. Alex takes P2. Connor wins though. So Connor takes, I believe, I don't want to be rude, but I think that's your first win. I don't want to forget one and feel like I'm being rude, but I believe that's Connor's first win. And Alex's first points of the season in P2. I think he should be happy with that. He'll probably be disappointed not to have got the win, being that close, being overtaken with just 2 corners left. But yeah, brave move from Connor. It was a good move. Diogo agrees there. Really good end to the race there. That was really entertaining. Fabio, the championship leader, takes P3, so will extend his lead over Brett Keenan, who came home in P5. Jaden in P4 there in between the two of them, who drove a strong recovery race from the back of the grid actually. Matt just crashed as he crossed the line there. in P6, and I believe Nate in P7. So Nate picks up a few points there at the back as well. Second win. So okay, thanks Diogo. I wasn't aware. So nice job from the top three. We'll see. I don't know if we're actually going to be able to get any of these three into have a chat, but we'll see. It'd be good to have a talk with some of them after that entertaining end to the race anyway. There we go, we got them on the podium, look at that. Beautiful. Don't know if we're able to get them in, I believe. So, let's have a go. Let's have a go there. Do it the quick way and find them through the game. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see if anyone joins. Thanks, Diogo, for your help in the chat. Let's see. Who have we got? Oh, we got Connor. Perfect. You there, Connor? Ah, oh, perfect, mate. Good race. Is that your second win? Diogo said it was your second win. I wasn't sure if it was your first or second. Second win. That was a really good race. Were you a bit nervous coming into that last lap there?
My heart. I was going to have my heart.
I bet. That was really good finish to the race. Good move to get it done. Just well, talk us through mainly the end of the race. It was interesting, wasn't it? You had it pretty easy from the beginning. It seemed you were controlling it, but yeah, just talk us through the end there.
I don't really. I probably shouldn't have pit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I probably shouldn't have pit. And I think it was like 7 seconds down.
Yeah, it was about that. Yeah, 7, 8.
I was just pushing. Obviously, worn down tyres, and I was able to go a lot faster.
No, I mean, I'm kind of pleased you picked because it made it a lot more interesting watching you try and catch him in. But it was good fun. It was really good race. Yeah, no, it was entertaining to watch, and obviously good qualifying to put you on pole as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Which
helped a lot.
yeah, obviously. And then yeah, really strong move. I thought you were gonna. I saw you were getting so close to the back of him. It was almost hard not to. You were so much faster in the end. Oh, was it a bit of lag as well? Yeah. Anyway, doesn't look like we're getting anyone else in, but yeah, really good race, Connor. Well done on the win. Get you a few more points. Well, probably not a championship win, but it'll move you up the title a bit anyway. So, well, the championship. Yeah, that's what it's all about. Anyway, yeah, well done. And that'll be all from us today. So I'll close off the broadcast there. Thanks for joining anyone that was here or is watching later, and we'll see you all next week at whatever track we're at next.